Charlotte, although she's young, but remarkably steady, shows more respect for the crown than Meghan ever demonstrated. Reassigning Sussex to her isn't punishment, it's necessity. She will honour what Meghan treated carelessly.
In the heart of Buckingham Palace's ancient halls, on a chilly fall night in 2025, Princess Anne, the loyal sibling of King Charles III, issued a proclamation that stirred waves across the royal household and further afield. This wasn't a routine statement, it was a decisive action to transfer the Duke and Duchess of Sussex honours, removing them from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and granting them to young Princess Charlotte, the child of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Anne's voice carried calm command during an intimate gathering with only essential relatives present. Though Charlotte is youthful yet impressively composed, she displays greater reverence for the monarchy than Meghan ever exhibited. Transferring Sussex to her isn't retaliation, it's essential. She will uphold what Meghan handled negligently. This assertion stemmed not from malice, but from a profound commitment to upholding the monarchy's honour. As mist enveloped London that evening, the palace glowed late into the night, suggesting conversations that might alter the succession order and how the public views the royals. The crown has forever mixed heritage with evolution, but this choice signalled a major shift. Anne, famous for her straightforward style and steadfast devotion to the establishment, had observed the family's ordeals play out. From Prince Andrew's downfall to the persistent disputes involving Harry and Meghan, she perceived a trend of decline that jeopardized the throne's longevity. By promoting Charlotte, Anne was expressing backing for the upcoming cohort, especially the reliable guidance of Catherine and the rising leadership of the Wales lineage. But what led to this point? The tale starts with the controversies that cleared the path for such an extreme measure. To grasp Anne's announcement, one needs to revisit the examples established in the royal circle. At the start of 2025, King Charles took the tough step to deprive his brother, Prince Andrew, of his noble designations and armed forces distinctions. Andrew's ties to Jeffrey Epstein, the investor whose legal issues had long overshadowed the Duke, resulted in fierce public examination. Legal records and continuing probes emphasized Andrew's connections to Epstein, urging the king to respond firmly to shield the monarchy's image. Andrew gave up his HRH designation and was barred from formal roles, a decision widely regarded as vital for sustaining public confidence. This wasn't the initial instance of titles being withdrawn. The past is filled with similar occurrences, from resignations to scandals. Yet Andrew's situation was contemporary, driven by press frenzy and courtroom fights. Once the uproar calmed, attention shifted to another part of the family, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Their exit from royal responsibilities in 2020, known as Megxit, had already tensed relationships. Subsequent disclosures widened the gap. Harry's book Spare, published in 2023, included sharp rebukes of the royal kin, blaming them for press disclosures and bias. Meghan's discussions and the duo's Netflix show depicted institutional hardships, with claims of prejudice and emotional health oversight. These critiques, as certain palace sources labelled them, were perceived as outright attacks on the crown's cohesion. Meghan's forays into US entertainment and commerce, though prosperous, faced backlash for exploiting royal links. Issues accumulated, accounts of employee harassment claims against Meghan, which she refuted, and Harry's court struggles regarding protection and confidentiality. By 2025, surveys indicated waning backing for the Sussexes in Britain, with numerous demanding their titles be revoked, akin to Andrew's. Anne, always watchful, noticed these similarities, seeing the Sussex matter as a danger to the monarchy's steadiness. The night of the reveal played out like a moment from a period play. Buckingham Palace, with its majestic rooms and hushed confidences, served as the backdrop for Anne's daring step. King Charles, appearing fatigued from his persistent medical issues, had summoned a modest assembly. Attendees included Prince William, Catherine, and several reliable consultants. Anne entered last, her face determined, holding a dossier of reflections compiled over months. The space was softly illuminated, with images of former rulers looking on. Anne addressed the group first, her tone firm and resolute. She mentioned the family's latest difficulties, linking Andrew's demotion to the requirement for additional steps. "We must not permit the throne to be weakened by those who opt to distance themselves," she declared. Then followed the essence of her address, the transfer of the Sussex titles to Charlotte. It wasn't impulsive. Anne had reviewed historical examples, observing that peerages like Sussex could be reformed or reallocated by the sovereign if considered abandoned or mishandled. Charlotte, merely 10 years old, wasn't present, but her presence loomed. Anne commended the young royal's poise in public settings, her innate adherence to etiquette, and her developing commitment to obligation. This was tacitly juxtaposed with Meghan's period, characterised by what Anne considered a neglect of customs. The proclamation elicited initial quiet, then whispers. William inclined his head reflectively as Charles contemplated the consequences. Externally, society stayed unaware, but internally, the monarchy was steering toward a fresh phase. Anne's phrasing was meticulously crafted, every term laden with significance. Charlotte, though young, yet impressively composed, emphasized the princess's wisdom exceeding her age. Witnesses remember Charlotte's grace at occasions like Trooping the Colour, where she directed her brothers with a soft command echoing her great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. This composure, Anne contended, rendered Charlotte an appropriate holder of the Sussex honour, representing a new beginning for a dukedom marred by disputes. The allusion to Meghan was understated but sharp, displays greater reverence for the monarchy than Meghan ever exhibited. Anne's opinions on the Sussexes appear in conversations and life stories. She apparently thought Meghan's stint in the royal sphere was short and ill-suited. Meghan's open critiques and business endeavours were viewed as reckless handling of the system. Transferring Sussex to her isn't retaliation, it's essential. In this, Anne portrayed the action as defensive, not spiteful, mirroring the logic for Andrew's demotion. Ultimately, she will uphold what Meghan handled negligently, highlighted a faith in revival. The Sussex honour, established in 2018 for Harry and Meghan, connects to prior dukes, and Anne envisioned Charlotte as the reviver of its esteem. This announcement was supported by legal options. Specialists in royalty observe that honours can be surrendered or reallocated through legislative measures or royal authority, as evidenced in previous examples. Anne's remarks weren't merely individual, they mirrored a wider plan to protect the monarchy's tomorrow. Woven into Anne's proclamation was an evident approval of Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the ascending rule of the Wales kin. By selecting Charlotte, Anne was tacitly endorsing William and Catherine's method of monarchy, contemporary but deferential to heritage. Catherine, who endured her own medical trials in 2024 and 2025, has earned acclaim for her endurance and dedication to issues like child development and psychological well-being. Anne has consistently respected Catherine's understated fortitude. In dialogues, she has discussed the role of females in the crown, and this action heightened that. The Wales embody the reliable route ahead, Anne allegedly stated in subsequent talks. This endorsement arrives during the monarchy's shift under Charles, with William as successor. By advancing Charlotte, it conveyed assurance in the forthcoming era, offsetting the interruptions from Harry and Meghan. Catherine's position as parent and public personality has been outstanding. Her philanthropic efforts, such as the Shaping Us initiative, parallel Anne's own commitment to more than 300 groups. This synergy fortifies the Wales governance, establishing them as the monarchy's solid foundation. The proclamation therefore acted as an endorsement, guaranteeing the throne's persistence via dependable figures. Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, arriving on May 2, 2015 at St Mary's Hospital in London, has matured amid global attention. As William and Catherine's middle offspring, she ranks third for the throne, a spot that has moulded her youth with teachings on responsibility and elegance. From her debut on the hospital stairs, swaddled in white, Charlotte has revealed a charisma that captivates many. Her lineage merges regal ancestry with current elements. William's descent links to ages of sovereigns, while Catherine's everyday origins bring accessibility. Charlotte's schooling commenced at Wilcox Nursery, then Thomas's Battersea, and currently Lambrook School, where she shines in studies and activities like dance and sports. Stories from palace insiders portray her as inquisitive and compassionate, frequently arranging gatherings with equity. Public instances showcase her reliability, adjusting her siblings on balconies or bowing flawlessly at formal gatherings. Anne's selection mirrors this capability. Should she receive the Sussex honour, Charlotte would be Duchess of Sussex, possibly involving sponsorships in learning or creativity. Her tender years imply the honour would be managed in escrow, permitting her maturation into it. This profile explains why Anne deemed her the perfect successor, a link between legacy and tomorrow. The announcement ignited swift and fervent responses inside and outside the palace, sparking a storm of feelings and dialogues that underscored the profound splits in the royal family's contemporary period. King Charles, though eventually in favour of his sister's audacious position, voiced considerable wariness about appearances in their confidential session, concerned it could worsen current family divides and attract greater press attention. Insiders near the palace disclosed that Charles, already managing his wellness issues and a reduced monarchy, fretted over the enduring consequences, especially how it might influence worldwide views of the throne. He supposedly walked the chamber, balancing the choice's urgency against possible repercussions from overseas. Prince William and Catherine, conversely, were profoundly touched by the news, seeing it as a strong validation of their upbringing and the principles they've taught their kids. William, noted for his guarding demeanour, regarded it as a protection for the monarchy's horizon, while Catherine valued the implicit recognition of her own consistent impact. Still, the pair also wrestled with the sentimental intricacy, wishing it wouldn't additionally isolate Harry amid the continuing alienation. From California, Harry and Meghan haven't released an official reply, but reports from close sources imply deep distress and a feeling of ultimate disconnection from the establishment they formerly inhabited. Insiders suggest the pair perceives this as a calculated deletion of their inputs, with Meghan especially seeing it as a direct insult during her thriving US pursuits. This quiet has spurred guesses, with some royal analysts forecasting possible judicial or press retorts, though others think they might opt to transcend it and concentrate on their autonomous endeavours. Societal discussion exploded rapidly on digital platforms and conventional outlets, turning social media into arenas of views. Advocates praised Anne's resoluteness as a vital overhaul, referencing fresh 2025 surveys that mirror broad feelings. For example, a YouGov poll from October indicated 58% of Britons seeing Harry unfavourably, while a Daily Mail survey showed robust support for honour removal, with over 60% endorsing the Sussex title's withdrawal after comparable steps against Prince Andrew. An Ipsos study in May disclosed 64% of the populace backing Harry's honour cancellation, fuelled by views of his rebukes as treacherous. Detractors, though, condemned the choice as excessively severe and possibly distancing to youthful, progressive groups who appreciate diversity and emotional health promotion, causes Harry and Meghan have advanced. On X, once Twitter, tags like #strip the titles and royal reform gained traction, with posts of humour and discussions questioning the equity. A popular entry joked it was the intro to the subsequent phase in royal downsizing. Royal analysts expanded the conversation, highlighting the action's uncommon history and likening it to Edward VIII's resignation in 1936 or newer cases like Andrew's honour forfeiture in October 2025, which drew 91% unfavourable public sentiment in a YouGov survey. Publications like The Times and Daily Express ran editorials from specialists such as Meghan Kelly, who foresaw Harry and Meghan losing their honours like Uncle Andrew, terming it unavoidable amid persistent issues. Kinsey Schofield, a California-based analyst, agreed, proposing the monarchy should emphasise commitment to service, quietly matching Anne's perspectives on a trimmed structure from her revived interviews. The BBC and CNN reported societal responses thoroughly, questioning Londoners who voiced varied emotions, from comfort in preserving the throne's purity to worries about kin cohesion. The ramifications are extensive and layered, possibly refining the monarchy by cutting working royals and focusing on key figures like the Wales kin. This might enhance their visibility, readying Charlotte for broader duties in sponsorships tied to youth and learning, while stressing allegiance as fundamental beyond bloodline. However, it hazards expanding family gaps, with Harry and Meghan's prosperous US-centred efforts like Archewell and Meghan's enterprises proceeding separately, potentially creating rival royal stories that contest the palace's control. As 2025 nears its end, this proclamation might reshape royal interactions, inciting legislative talks on honour changes and challenging the system's flexibility in a time of openness and societal responsibility. Whether it consolidates or splits more stays a subject of intense conjecture, but evidently the Crown's progression is ongoing. As the commotion at last starts to subside from Princess Anne's revolutionary announcement in the fall of 2025, the British throne stands at a significant juncture, reminiscent of key episodes in its extensive legacy. This isn't a small tweak in the royal records, it's a purposeful redirection arising from urgency, profound esteem for the system, and a proactive outlook to secure its pertinence in a shifting globe. Anne's remarks, conveyed with her typical steadfastness, pay tribute to the lasting essence of the throne, while courageously tackling the current obstacles that have strained its bases. From the 1936 abdication turmoil to the latest reduction of active royals under King Charles, the Crown has continually adjusted to persist, discarding what fails to aid and adopting what fortifies it. By suggesting the transfer of the Sussex honours to youthful Princess Charlotte, Anne is mapping a route that favours steadiness over emotion, assuring the throne's heritage persists via eras that incarnate its essential principles. Charlotte's possible advancement to Duchess of Sussex bears strata of meaning that echo profoundly. At only 10, she symbolises a new beginning for the dukedom, a designation once given with optimism in 2018, but now obscured by periods of dispute and separation. Her ascent isn't simply about legacy, it's a symbol of optimism, a juvenile royal already showing the grace and commitment that might reclaim dignity for the title. Analysts highlight her serene conduct at gatherings like the 2025 Trooping the Colour, where she managed the throngs with a sophistication that defies her youth, similar to her grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, in her early days. This step highlights Anne's conviction in fostering the next royals, who value service and esteem, traits she delicately opposed to the former bearers of the honour. In this, it indicates a crown ready to develop, not diminish, conforming to societal demands while clinging to its customs. Central to this announcement is Anne's resolute backing for Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the ascending rule of the Wales kin. By advocating for Charlotte, Anne offers endorsement to William and Catherine's balanced contemporary style of royalty, harmonising civic duty with home life. Catherine, who has elegantly borne her own ordeals, including wellness struggles lately, represents the silent toughness Anne esteems. Royal analysts like those in recent YouGov surveys from October 2025 display increasing societal endorsement for the Waleses, with 65% considering them the reliable tomorrow of the throne. Anne's position strengthens a cohesive outlook where reliability and devotion prevail over controversy and personal gain, placing the Wales lineage as the stabiliser in stormy periods. It's an understated yet potent confirmation that the throne's power resides in those who dedicate to it altruistically, akin to Anne's decades-long service. However, among this hopefulness, persistent queries loom over the palace entrances. Was this the correct direction, or does it chance broadening the already distressing family scars that have led news since Megxit in 2020? How could Harry and Meghan reply from their California hub? Maybe via another dialogue or declaration that revives prior arguments? And what implications for their offspring, Archie and Lilibet, who possess prince and princess designations by inheritance, but now confront a more unclear tie to the system? Might this prompt additional legal disputes over honours, as in past instances like the 1917 Titles Deprivation Act that removed German royals' distinctions? Societal responses vary. A November 2025 Ipsos poll showed 55% approval for honour transfers in instances of apparent betrayal, but 40% fear it might estrange younger groups favouring unity. The Globe observes closely as Buckingham Palace manoeuvres this sensitive change, demonstrating anew that the crown not only survives, it morphs, casting off obsolete loads to arise more robust. These events prompt contemplation on the wider effects for the royal family's international persona. In a period of online examination and demands for updating, Anne's choice might spark a surge of changes, maybe further simplifying honours or stressing achievement over succession. It could even open paths for Charlotte to assume initial sponsorships in fields like learning or ecology, syncing with her parents' projects. But obstacles persist, likely resistance from global backers of the Sussexes, or even legislative discussions on honour regulations, as suggested in recent Commons debates. What are your views on Anne's daring remark? Do you endorse transferring the Sussex honours to Charlotte as a move toward revival, or view it as an unneeded intensification? How do you read the responses from King Charles and William, and what effect might this exert on the throne's appeal? Post your thoughts in the comments. We welcome perspectives from every angle of this intriguing discussion. If this in-depth exploration of royal interactions appealed to you, like it if you share Anne's outlook. Spread it among other royal enthusiasts and follow our channel for additional unique analyses, insider tales, and news on the constantly changing Windsor realm. The narrative of the throne is ongoing, and the forthcoming section developing live could astonish us with unexpected turns.